Have you ever been on a flight where your instructor asks you to get something from your bag and you don't have it? For example, hey, grab your view limiting device, and you went, uh, it does happen. It has happened to me when I was in training, and I'm sure it happens to you as well because, as an instructor, too, I've been in this situation where my students did not have what was required for a particular flight. This video is about what goes in a pilot bag. Every pilot needs a good and useful bag that can carry all the essentials they need. This bag is actually a very personal object for every pilot, and most of us take it seriously because it carries pretty much everything that we need, and it might be as small as a protein bar, which I always carry in my pilot bag. For the purpose of this video, I decided to keep a student pilot bag in mind while filling it out, and obviously the things to carry will depend on what kind of operations you take part in. They will be different for a student than for an instructor, than for an airline pilot, than for any other pilot as well. But there are definitely a few things that are always constant, such as iPads. We all carry iPads because they more often than not are electronic flight bags that have our charts, everything that we need to navigate, etc. A pair of headsets that help us communicate to ATC, documents, etc. Investing in a good pilot bag is important. To make the right choice is important because you want to have a bag that lasts for longer and also meets your need as you go from a student pilot to an instructor to an airline pilot or whatever job you carry on after training. So you want to consider all of these factors when selecting a bag. Obviously, there are a lot of options and they can confuse you, but what a good idea to start with is what are the things that you would need to carry now and later that will go into your pilot bag. Remember, just like everything that I do on this channel and in my life in general, I always keep the long-term perspective in mind whenever making any decisions, because historically that has led me to making good decisions. Let's take a look at what goes into a pilot bag. So first things first, it's gonna be the documents. Documents go in here on the top. The first thing that I put into the bag are pilot documents. These are the things that allow us pilots to act as pilot in command legally or second in command legally. They allow us to perform our duties legally. They have our pilot cards, we have an ID card, we have our medical certificate. All of this I usually carry in one small wallet that goes into the most safe pocket of my bag. Perfect. Then you have a front pocket where you can put all the pens in the pocket. I usually utilize the front pockets for pens because it has a pen holder and I carry multiple pens just in case one of my pen fails or I have to give it to my students. You can carry any of the accessories that fit into this pocket like marker, pencil, scales, hand sanitizers, wipes, whatever you need for your flight. As well as if you have a small kneeboard that can go easily in here. A kneeboard. A kneeboard is again a very interesting discussion because kneeboards come in different size, different types. Kneeboards can themselves act like bags. Sometimes I have seen kneeboards that open threefold and you can put in literally everything into that kneeboard. I like to keep the kneeboards nice and simple because they go onto my knee. I don't want to hit the kneeboard while I'm moving my hands around. I like a small kneeboard which can have papers and charts that I essentially need for my flying, the airport diagrams maybe, as well as a small piece of blank paper to write down any kind of ATC instructions, ATIS, and anything that I need for the flight. So I like to keep it small and simple when it comes to kneeboard. Also, I would like to know, what do you guys think about the kneeboards with an iPad holder in them? I think that it sometimes takes away a student's attention while flying because when you're flying, you gotta look all the way down to look at your iPad. I would rather have a nice little iPad holder that does not make me look away from outside or my flight instruments while flying. And if your iPad is big enough, then it takes a big part of your knee, and that sometimes affects people in a small Cessna trying to move the yoke and hitting the iPad while moving the yoke. You can even put your checklist. Checklist is important because it's a checklist. Then you close it. You have the big one. This big pocket has a lot of room, as you can see. So first things first, very important, the iPad. The iPad has a nice little cover here. The bag that I'm using in this video is the MyGoFlight PLC SPORT BAG. Again, this video is not sponsored by them. I was just sent the products for a review, and I did find the bag pretty useful. It's a right fit for us because it was designed by pilots to meet the requirements of a cockpit. The PLC SPORT BAG, according to the website, is built for every kind of need that you will encounter while flying, with a special focus on your most important tool like the iPad. The iPad, as you will see, goes into a back pocket. I found the back pocket good enough for a 13-inch or some of the 15-inch laptops to go in, so your iPad is definitely going to fit into this bag. The bag dimensions are 14 by 13 by 6 inches and is made up of ballistic nylon. That's the best part of the bag. It is made up of really strong material, which is also pretty chemically safe in case you have oil spills or fuel spills, and it is also lightweight at the same time. It also goes into the airplane without taking much of a room. It is quite compact in that manner. You can put it into the baggage compartment, under the seat, or let it take its own room and sit on the passenger chair. Okay, let's continue filling up the bag. You can also put in a laptop. If you have any extra books like the POH can go in here. The book that I'm referring in this video is the Pilot Information Manual. For most general aviation aircrafts, there is a small manual that a pilot can buy and avail for themselves, which contains all the information necessary for the particular model of aircraft that you are flying. This is a nice little book that gives you systems, operating limitations, weight and balance, performance figures, everything that you need to know about your aircraft. And if you are flying as a student, make sure you carry a copy of this in your bag. Yes, the aircraft will have its own POH. This is a pilot information manual and not a POH. Your logbook. The logbook. The logbook is not a necessary document for your flight. It's alright if you don't fly with the logbook, because all you gotta do is log your flights. But when you are flying as a student, you do carry your logbook so that after each of your flight, your instructor can sign it off and you have the flight logged. You have what you covered in the flight with the signature of your instructor. Once you become an instructor, you don't carry your logbook as often. The only time a pilot needs a logbook to act as a PIC is when the logbook has an endorsement that the pilot requires to act as the PIC of the aircraft. It might be a student pilot, or it might be a pilot not having the category and class for the aircraft that they are flying, but they have the endorsement, so they can still fly. Your calculators. If you're flying a modern aircraft which has calculators, something like G1000, you might not always need a calculator. But if you're flying a six-pack, you might want to have a calculator that might come in handy if you're going on a cross country and need to make a little bit of fuel calculations, etc. Or you might need a course deviation, a diversion, and things go wrong. Calculators don't take up a lot of space, but they are very useful in case your systems fail. So have a calculator in your bag. Your phone calculators can only do basic arithmetic. They cannot calculate your true course, magnetic course, wind correction angle, etc. So a CX3 or the original E6B can come in use. Your mount, very important. The mount will go easily in here. The mount that we discuss in this video. And then the foggles can also go next to. If you want to carry a plotter, you can just slide it in here so that you can take it out easily. Then you have the gas jar. If you have a bottle or a gas jar, it will go right in here. Easy to carry, easy to store, and that's right. And the sunglasses go. Can also fit in here. That's it. One last thing that goes in there is a headset. The headsets are also very important for every one of us because they help us communicate to the ATC. There are different types of headsets available, different manufacturers making different kinds of headsets. There's all sorts: noise cancelling, Bluetooth pairing, the regular ones. There's a lot of following for the Bose A20, and they recently came up with A330. Bose, if you're listening, I review products sometimes. But yes, there are a lot of headsets available. When you choose your headsets, consider their price, their usability. I pretty much got my 1500 wearing the regular headsets with no noise cancelling, and I had no problem talking to the ATC nor hearing their instructions. Unless you have extra need and luxury and you think that spending a little more on headsets is useful, you should spend and invest in a good headset. Like I said, always make choices, invest in things that will last longer and help you. If things work for you, there is absolutely no problem in buying a costlier headset because they are helping you be a more efficient pilot. I'm always for sustainable choices. Headset, close it, and lock. And then you're ready, all set, ready to go.